Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. If someone you love is battling an addiction, there is wonderful help and there are resources out there. Greg Hanley is the CEO of SOBA Recovery. He is here this morning with Scotty Brown, who is a very important person in his life and also a co-founder of SOBA Recovery. Hi, guys.
Hi. Good morning.
Thanks for being here. It's good to see you.
You too.
I like this once a month thing, getting to hang out with you guys. All right, so I'm going to let you kind of talk a bit about the relationship between you and Scotty, Greg.
Well, Scotty and I met right after I got sober, and kind of when you don't realize it's going to happen, but once they took the drugs and alcohol out, I had a lot of social anxiety, and I didn't really, it was hard for me to get out and meet people and do things, and Scotty took me under his wing and kind of introduced me to people and took me to a party, and I'd tell him he didn't realize that when we were hanging out, I was actually watching how he interacted with people. Because,
kind of learning.
Yeah, and we've been really close friends for 10 years. SOBA actually started in my garage.
Really?
Yeah. We had a meeting in the garage and on a Thursday night, and I said, you know, there should be a place for us to go. And he was a real estate agent, and he found the property that SOBA is at.
Okay, and the rest is history.
Yes.
So how important is it, Greg, to have someone like Scotty in your life in that situation when you have just, you know, gotten out of recovery and you're starting over? I mean, you really are starting over and learning how to do everything sober, to live sober.
Well, it's really crucial, and that's why our communities that we have work, and especially for the young people, is that if you're out there on your own, most people are still doing what they do, and getting a group or some friends that aren't drinking or aren't getting high is, I mean, it's really important.
That's key.
Yeah.
So, Scotty, tell me just a little bit about your relationship. And he said, you know, that you were the guy that kind of helped him learn to be social again. How do you go about doing something like that? He's so social, and he's so much fun, and so it's hard for me to imagine you not this way, but it makes sense.
I think I just gravitated towards Greg, and he's a great human being. He's got the best heart of anybody I've ever met in my life. I mean, I learned that when I went through cancer, and he was there for me. More than anybody, it was pretty amazing, and that's why I think SOBA is such a successful place, because it starts with someone like Greg, and and it just grew, it blossomed, you know. Yeah. He had the boxing ranch in Vegas, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna sell the ranch. It's been my identity for so long, what am I gonna do? And I kind of was like, well, we're in Malibu, where, that's why I went there to maybe get a place, but the real estate market picked up so much that he wanted a place. I thought it was a great idea. He was the guy to fulfill that.
Yeah. Well, what is it about SOBA Recovery that why does it work? Because so many people that come and see you, they've been through other programs and they have failed and they haven't worked, and for some reason, well, you know the reason, but when they go to SOBA Recovery, it works. What is it?
I think that, like he said, the group of people and the way Greg put it together, like, hey, we're like a family, and when you come out of that drug world, that's your life too. It's the hardest thing to change sometimes is the atmospheres and the whole getting and copping and that's a whole lifestyle. So you have to change that lifestyle, and he provided that, a comfortable place. You could just stop in there if you're alumni and say hi and hang out, and it was just like this beautiful fellowship that was very different than any other place.
Before we go to break, I want to talk a little about Scotty, because he's kind of a big deal. Your life story is in pre-production. Tell us more. What's going on with
I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just kidding. No,
code.
It's with FX. They bought my life story, and yeah, they're making a series.
Is Greg going to be in your life story?
Of course.
Yes, the Gregster.
He's going to be one of the actors in it, more than he's got such a great look. He's going to be.
He does.
Yes.
There's only one Greg Hanley. You can't find anyone to play him. He is the guy. Okay, Scotty, it was so nice to meet you.
Thank you
for being here. We don't want anyone to go anywhere, because still to come, why the holiday season is especially hard for someone battling an addiction. After the break, how to help your loved ones make this holiday a happy one. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We are back with Greg Hanley, the CEO of SOBA Recovery, also Scotty Brown, a co-founder, and the one and only Hollywood actor, Daniel Baldwin, is back. Oh, look at that. That was just such a glamour shot.
Thank you.
You got to hold your collar next time. Turn towards the camera. Thank y'all for being here. It's good to see you. So we were talking during the break about the fact that the holidays are a really difficult time for people that are struggling or battling an addiction. Why is that?
Well, a couple of reasons. A lot of times people drink a lot at holidays because they have anxiety about being with their families. And then a lot of times people aren't with their families and they get lonely.
Sure.
And so originally when we first opened SOBA Clubhouse, it was called SOBAR. And it was a place for people to congregate that just needed to be somewhere. And we would have Thanksgiving, local Thanksgiving dinners for people that maybe they got out of treatment and everybody was still mad at them, or they didn't have a place to go. We would do that at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I think we had a New Year's party, Super Bowl parties, things like that. But
A lot of events.
and a lot of holidays are surrounded by alcohol.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
it is, so it can be very difficult around that time.
No, it all makes
Usually the
sense.
big fights and the problems come because somebody was doing something too much.
Right. Nope, that makes sense. Absolutely. And Daniel, what were you going to say?
Well,
about
I was
that?
going to say, I think another thing that's a component of the holidays is free time. It breaks your normal schedule. There are gaps of time you're not going to work, you're not going to school. You know, so when you add that on top of the fact that you pull in the family dynamics that Greg was talking about. But I think that free time is very, very troublesome to some people that are struggling.
So what can family members do if they have a loved one that is struggling? What can they do to help that person during the holidays?
We beat each
Specifics.
other.
Well, that works. You know, that works too.
He's got a wild family, you know.
They show their love in different ways.
They took on Canada in some cartoons.
Our treatment centers get really busy at the holidays too. A lot of times kids will come home from school, or family members that people hadn't seen in a while, they show up, and then people realize that they have lost 30 pounds, or you know, something is going on, and again, that's when our phone starts ringing a lot.
That makes sense, because if you have younger kids who have been away at college, you haven't seen, maybe you've just been talking on the phone, then you do see them and you see something's not right.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what can families do?
I think that they can support their, loved one by recommending that, give them the time to go to a group or meetings or whatever, really give them that support to do that, because they really need to do that.
And you mentioned not having all that free time, so it'd be a good idea to be with them, do things together.
Yeah, one of the things that I learned through SOBA was that, I had a basket of behaviors and a basket of things that I did in my life. When I started pulling those things out that were derogatory and bad for me, as far as my sobriety is concerned, you have to replace those.
That's what I was
with
gonna
healthy
say,
things,
yeah.
they're going to meetings, and even just working out and eating well and sleeping well, and lots of things that you need to replace in your basket.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I want to talk a little bit about SOBA Recovery, and Daniel, you're always very open about your story, and you had been to recovery before, but it wasn't until you went to SOBA in Malibu that your life really changed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Scotty really hit it on the head. The difference that I found in any program is the real family and community that is around SOBA. I mean, there are people that will come to meetings that started with Greg, when he first opened it. Still come to the Alumni Thursday night meeting. I mean, it's really...
We had over 200 at the
Really?
Alumni.
Yeah, we had a big
The other night.
speaker.
That blew me away so much that this meeting really started in Greg's garage. When he moved all the stuff from the ranch and he had it in the garage, there was these big chairs, and I'm like, hey, let's get pizza and have a meeting, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, and now it's this huge meeting you can't even get into.
Yeah. Well, and you always talk about that's what makes SOBA different, is once, I don't want to say you're done, because you're always in recovery, right? But you always have a family. It's not like you're done and they send you on your way. You have people that love you have people that care about you. You have people that you can always go to. And how many years have you known Greg, Daniel?
Close to, same as Scotty.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are still the best of friends. You stay connected.
It's a family, you know. Even when you're angry with your family, they're still your family. You know,
That's right.
It doesn't
And
matter
we go
good or
back.
bad. Yeah, we go back before
20 years.
20
Really?
years.
Okay.
But it really is a family. It's a family of people. There are people there that I don't necessarily know that well. I had a woman come up to me in a restaurant, and she went like this to me the other day. She went, "Don't you know Greg Hanley?" Greg was standing just behind.
You said, I'm a Baldwin.
Greg was standing just behind me. And I looked at her and went, "You mean him?" And it was a girl who had graduated from his program.
Really?
And she went, "Oh my God, he saved my life." This was the hostess at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really powerful to see that girl, how she just lit up when she saw you.
Yeah,
My son thought it was
yeah.
pretty cool.
And that,
Kind of a rock
and that
star.
goes on the list now. Aren't you Alec, Billy, or Steven's brother? And then, hey,
That was
don't you know
Greg.
Greg Hanley? So
Well,
that's the
he's
fourth.
doing just such wonderful things with his life. And Greg, I mean, honestly, what does it make you feel like when you see people like that and you have these lifelong friends and they say to you, you know, this program that you created, it saved my life. I'm still here because of it.
It makes my heart feel happy.
You are well. You have a joyful heart, and you're just a wonderful human being. And we always love when you can come and hang out on the show. And don't go anywhere, guys. Okay, don't be running away, because after the break, SOBA Texas is open here in San Antonio. We'll find out more about this wonderful recovery center, and we'll also tell you what makes the SOBA approach to recovery the best out there.
There's absolute hope. There's a cure, there's a hope, and you can indeed recover, and you can indeed don't have to use drugs and alcohol anymore, and you can indeed lead a healthy, productive, beautiful life. There's hope. Don't feel like there's nobody out there to help you, anybody out there to help you. There's hope.
There is hope, and we are back with the handsome gentlemen of SOBA Recovery, Greg Hanley, Daniel Baldwin, and Alex Rahichi has joined us. The sharp-dressed man has made his way to the table. Hey guys, how's it going? Nice to see you, Alex. I've seen y'all before. Okay, let's talk a little bit about SOBA Texas, because we always talk about SOBA Recovery and SOBA in Malibu, but what people may not know is you have a recovery center that is open right here in San Antonio. Let's talk about it and what makes it different.
It's out by SeaWorld, and it's growing. San Antonio had a big need that we found out about by accident when we were doing the movie Wisdom here. And we've been open, what now, 6 months?
Yeah, over 6 months now. So.
It's already been that long.
Yeah,
People
and
are liking it.
It took us a month to fill it, so you know, got amazing staff. I think we're up to about 80 employees.
Oh,
So,
wow, y'all are busy.
Yeah, and we've been meeting with contractors. Greg bought the property next door, the ranch next
Expanding.
door. So we're planning on expanding. Hopefully this time, though, it doesn't take us a year to do it. So.
Well, we're also thinking about expanding into mental health and having an eating disorder track, a veterans track. There's just a lot of things that we're used to seeing where I'm from that don't exist here. So there's some people that once in a while you take the drugs or alcohol out and you find out that they have some things that need a different level of care, and the resources have been really limited here. So we're just gonna keep building and see
Doing
who
your
we can
work.
help. Yeah.
What is so interesting to me about SOBA and the mindset of it's not 28 days, 30 days, and then you're done. There is no time limit with you guys when it comes to recovery. So when someone says, okay, well, how long am I going to be there? I've decided to do this. What do you say to them when they want to know how long?
For the residents coming in, it's not that difficult. We just say, you know, just come in and one day at a time. You know, we let them know up front we're not a 28-day program, but it's the moms and the parents that really, it's hard for them to understand. So you're not giving me a time frame how long they're coming in for? Well, no, because the program, you know, if they stay with us, it's lifelong, but there's people that have been with Greg or at one of the other facilities for 2 years or more. So it's hard to, you know, like a drug addict saying, hey, you're coming in for 24 months, they're going to be like,
yeah,
oh, no, I'm going to walk right
eternity.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for them to say, I'm going to go to 30 days.
Right.
But once they're there, that's the hardest thing, is to actually get them out. It's
They want to stay.
It's the hardest part.
It's
They
harder
wanna
to
stay.
get them to leave than it is to stay,
Yeah.
which is shows good staff, good program. And we just hired a clinical director that moved from one of the other local programs, and it took 2 days for her to sign up with us because she was so disenchanted with the 28-day program that she worked with, because it just didn't work.
Right.
And she couldn't believe that there was something like what we do actually existed. And she was quite excited. And we're really lucky to have her. She's awesome. Shannon
Malish.
Malish, yeah, she's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have to come for 2 weeks now. I didn't have to be here. Yeah,
okay. You've been
yeah,
out
her
here-
and Courtney are just really doing a
they're-
great
oh, I
job.
love Courtney.
Yeah,
She's
they're
wonderful.
awesome.
You're
The
being so
whole team.
quiet.
Well,
What-
it's a great segue to what he just said,
Yeah.
that he hasn't been there he was able to stay away for 2 weeks. He's there, brass
Yeah,
knuckles every day. Greg's in and out quite a bit, but I get to see the lapses. I truly get to see something they don't see, which is the person come in really, really bad. You know,
Right.
they just got in there, and then a month later, and the lights are on a little bit, and then 2 months and 3 months. Now, in the 6+ months existence of this program, there's people that are really, really sharp now. That, like, sometimes I don't even recognize.
Really?
There was one girl I walked in, I looked at her, and I was like, she goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And I thought, okay, she's being kind of friendly, and I realized that I had met her 6 other times.
Wow, but she was just that
Wow,
much
her lights just
brighter.
were on now,
Yeah.
you know, and she was vivacious and alive, and yeah, it's.
Oh, there was a girl that stopped me in my tracks last time I was here, that when I realized who she was, I had to turn around and go, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" And it was just shocking, the difference.
What is it like for families? Because, I mean, you're not even, well, you're kind of like their family, but when their families haven't seen them in a month, and like you said, they come in and they're at their worst, and then they see them a month later and they're a different person. When you see those reactions from their loved ones?
I think it's better when they're from really far away and they don't come for months.
Oh, or months, yeah.
And then they show up like at 90 days because it's a big chip that
Yeah.
you get, blah, blah, and they walk in and, I mean, they really don't recognize that kid. Or they actually do recognize the kid they hadn't seen in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, that's when they go, "Well, I have my son back.
Yeah.
I have my wife back."
Yes.
You know, and it is. There's a lot of hugging and
I'm sure.
little crying.
Tears,
It always
yeah,
kind of gets me
absolutely.
when that happens.
Well, SOBA Texas is open, so if people, if they have questions, can they call you 24/7? What do they need to do to get in contact with you guys?
Anytime. They can call, email, send us a message, however. Just reach out.
Okay.
It's really,
You're always
really
there.
easy. Yeah.
say my
Alex
favorite
is
line.
always there.
Say my favorite line. It
It
starts.
starts with the phone call.
There it
Starts
is.
with a phone
That's
call,
a big
baby.
line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love that line.
Well, we'll talk with the
Recovery
gentleman.
is cool. Don't
It
forget
is.
it.
I agree.
It's the coolest.
You guys have proven it, that's for sure. Don't go anywhere, you guys. After the break, what you can do today, like within the next 5 minutes, to help a loved one that may be struggling with an addiction. We'll be right back. And we are back with Greg, Daniel, Alex, and Scotty with SOBA Recovery. Gentlemen, if there are people watching right now, they don't know what to do. They have a loved one. They're scared to death. They feel like something's up, something's not right. Maybe there's some kind of addiction happening. What can they do right now?
Starts with the phone call. I remember now.
The line.
Yeah.
But it really does.
It really does.
If they call you at SOBA, because SOBA Texas is open here, what will happen at that point if they decide, okay, I'm going to come in person, I want to check in, then what?
We're
What's
going to
the
guide them
process?
through
Yeah.
what's going to happen and give them some advice. A lot of times people need advice on whoever it is that they're going to talk to. And they need to, or they're worried about cost, and we can guide them through the insurance process. Right now with open enrollment, people can sign up for insurance that will cover treatment, and really the cost is little, or it can be nothing sometimes. So
People don't realize that.
yeah,
So
they
that
get
all
real
depends.
worried about that, and we're not trying to figure out how to get in somebody's pocket. We want to get them the help, and even sometimes what we'll do if somebody signs up for it, while they're waiting for the insurance to kick in, we'll still bring them in. So
course.
we don't wait, but It's the main thing, open a conversation.
And we know you're scared. You know, you're obviously scared. But Greg says a great thing, and that is not making the call leads to a whole different level of scary stuff that can happen. So just pick up the phone and start a conversation.
Give him a call. Alex may even answer himself.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, even at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
The other thing is they go to their parents a lot of times with weird kind of, you know, this, and the parents are the ones making the calls, so they need to do
So you're there for the parents too. And guys, there's the phone number, 866-547-6451. SOBA Texas is open. They are here. They can help you. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see y'all tomorrow. Good job.
Scotty B.